So description is about, so you have given a string containing just characters, opening and closing bracket. So determine if the input string is valid. So we have to check that the character are present in the string are present, or opening and closing bracket is present in that or not. An input string is valid only if here they have given the condition that we have to check that opening and closing bracket is valid or not. So opening bracket must close by the same type of bracket. That means the opening bracket must be closed by same bracket. Like if you see the small bracket, so we have to close with the same bracket. That is small bracket. And if you see the curly bracket is present in the string, so we have to close with the curly bracket. Same with the square bracket. So we have to check that also. Open bracket must close in the correct order. That means if this is come with first letter, that means first character, then we have to close with only first character. If in between the closing bracket is this, so we have to return the false. So we have to check that also. Every close bracket has corresponding open bracket of the same time. That means every close bracket, we have to check also that every close bracket has the corresponding open bracket is also present. So we have to check with the same condition that is present in the first value point. So we have to check both also. So for example, so we have given a first string that is opening and closing bracket. So if you see there is a opening bracket and there is the closing bracket. So we have to return true. And for second example, if you see, so for second example, the say opening bracket is present and the closing bracket is present. That means this is true, but we have to check for all elements. So here also square bracket is opening bracket is open and closing bracket is here there also. And same with the curly bracket, opening bracket, closing bracket. So we have to return true. And in the third example, if you see, there is the small bracket and that is a opening bracket. But if you see the closing bracket, that is a square bracket. So they don't have the same proper type. So we have to return false. So constraint are so length of the string is 1 to 10 to the power 4. So we don't have to use the what we call brute force approach. So that's why we have to use in between 10 to the power 4 property. So that's why we are using stack to reduce the time complexity. And also the yes consists of parenthesis only opening and closing bracket. So we have to, you don't have to take care of the character, which character is present or which character we don't present. So we have to only check only opening and closing bracket. So other than that, this the character not present in this. To solve these, we are going to solve by using stack. So first of all, I will create a stack. So data type of the stack is character because characters are present in the string. So we are breaking the string. So that's why we have to store the character in the stack. So that's why we are taking the data type as character. And then stack equal to new stack. And we are going to apply the for loop to get one by one character. So we are going to apply for loop. To apply for loop, we are going to use int I equal to 0 from 0 to length of the string, that is yes dot length. So here the length is not a what we call a variable. So here the length is a method that is present in the string class. So that's why we have to use method and increment by in plus. That means we have to go in forward direction. That's why we are using plus plus. And first of all, we will check that the opening bracket is present at I position because we have to add the opening bracket in this stack. And if closing bracket is present, then we not add, and directly we will check that the opening bracket is present or not. So first of all, I will get the what we call opening bracket is present or not. So to use to get the value or character that present in the string, so we have to use char at. That means it will check the character at that I position or any index position. So we are going to transfer with I, and we are going to check the opening bracket. And so to check the, we have to go in use single quote. So then first I will check with a small bracket, that is opening bracket, then or yes dot char with a I equal to single quote with square bracket, and same with the curly bracket, curly bracket. So if that is present, so we have to store in the stack, and that will we use to get the what we call the closing bracket to check that that present in the stack or not, and then we will return the true value. So that is our main motto by using the stack. So we have to store the stack in the, so to store the value in the stack, you can use add, but by using the stack, we have to use the main property, that is push. So we have to use the push property, and to push the value, we have to insert the character value, that is yes dot char at I, and after pushing the value, so we have to increment the I. So I am going to use continue variable, that is keyword. So this keyword will increment the I, and this will not continue. That means it will stop here and it will increment and it will check after that. So we have to just do that. So after that, I have to check that stack is empty. If this condition is not correct, that means it is not passing through this condition. So we have to directly return the false value, because first of all we have to check whether there is opening bracket is present or not. So first this condition is failing, so that's why we don't have to go further. So that is why we have to return false. So first I will check the stack is empty or not. To check that, we can use the stack.size, or there is one method present in the stack class. So that is empty, and it will check that if stack is empty, it will return true, and if it is not empty, then it will return false. So we have to check that stack is empty. That means we have to return true. That means we have to return false, because if stack is empty, that means there is a first position, there is a closing bracket. So that's why we have to return false. And after that, we have to get one character variable to store the value. So here we can take the character outside, or we can use in the switch. So here we are using the switch function to check the values that are present in the what we call for loop or string. Because if you want to use any other like if and else, so there may be sometimes it will take the time consuming, but it is a switch condition. It is a easy way to check the element present in the way. So I will check the yes dot char at I, and to use the switch condition, we have to use curly bracket, opening and closing bracket, and then we have to get use the case condition. So first case is what we call closing bracket. So first closing bracket is small closing bracket I am using. So that, and to store get the what we call the value, to check that this character is matching with this, and to get store the value. So I am taken the character variable outside, because every time we have to initiate the check, that means a variable. So that's why I have taken the outside, and to store the value. So I am going taking the pop method that is present in the stack to get the value present in the stack. So to get value, so stack dot pop, it will return the uppermost value. That means which is at the top, it will return. That the stack works only from top to bottom. So that is a FIFO diagram. That is first in, first out. That means FIFO, first in, last out. That means if approach is available in this. So I will check that if check equal to, that means I will check that the if what we call this check is equal to uh, square bracket, opening square bracket, or check equal to, it is equal to curly bracket. Then it is equal, then we don't have to check other element. We have to directly return false because we here want to check that this value is equal to the opening bracket of this small bracket. If there is if this is happen, so it has to return true. But here it is, if condition is possible, then we have to return false. And if this is not possible, then we have to check with other cases also. So we have to use break. That means after that we have to check with other element also. Case for next condition is for square bracket, that is closing square bracket. And we have to store stack dot pop, and then we have to check also same with this. That means we have to check equal to, is there any opening bracket of small bracket, and is there any curly bracket is present or not, opening curly bracket, that means. And if there that is present, so we have to just return false. And if that is not a case, then we have to return we have to break the that condition, and we have to go with the next case. So next case is, that is curly bracket of closing curly bracket, and that is we have to store first. So equal to stack dot pop if check equal to, here we have to check with a small opening bracket or small, that means closing square bracket, sorry, and we have to return, we have to return false. And after this, we have to break all the condition. So all the test conditions are completed. So we have to directly check that all the opening and closing curly bracket is completed or not. And after that, this, yes, we have completed that. After completing the for loop, if you check after completing for loop, we have to check that its stack is empty. That is method that is present in the stack. So we have to check. And if stack is empty, so we have completed all the cases that is present in the stack, and we have check all the opening and closing bracket, and stack is empty because we are using pop. That means we are removing the element that are present in the stack. So stack automatically return empty, and we have to return true. And if this condition is not true, that means stack has some a character present in the stack. That means we are not able to close or check that opening and closing bracket present in that. So that's why we have to return false. That means the case, all the valid points are not fulfilling the our point. So that's why we have to check that. And if all the test cases are true, that means all the valid points is present in the stack or valid in the string. So we have to return true. So if you check what we call, if you check the if you try to run, give me 1 second. It is taking time. Yes. So all the test cases are passing. And if you check the time complexity and space complexity, so here we are using only one for loop. So time complexity is O of n, and n is the length of the string. So because we are going for iterative manner, so from zero to length. So that is why we are time complexity O of n, and space complexity is uh, O of n if in worst condition, because if all the what we call all the character present in the string are opening brackets, that means all the character like a small bracket are opening bracket, that means we have to store all the element first in the stack, and then we have to check with the other condition. So that is why in one worst condition the time complex that is space complexity is O of n. So if you try to submit. So I have updated the Chrome, and also I have updated the LeetCode. So I'm going to submit the code. If you check, I am going to submit that. So same problem I'm facing right now also. So taking the time. So if you check, I have already checked that it is getting the correct result. Yes. So if you check that the all the test cases are passing, and I have got accepted the question, that is Java algorithm. So if you check, it is getting accepted. So thank you.